Love 40.
All right, Barry McKay, and we remind you we are live at Wimbledon, so this is of the moment right now. Andre Agassi getting ready to start off on center court. His opponent, Tommy Haas, serving first. Much going on the grounds right now. Rios, the number 2 seed, down 2 sets to 1 to Clevet on court number 2. Agassi getting underway on center court. And Agassi breaks Haas's serve in the first game of the match. So Andre starts off with a service break, Billie Jean.
Well, that's how he won Wimbledon here, was with that service return. And he is incredible. He's kind of putting everybody off a little bit. Everybody's talking about his clothes because he's got those long sleeves. How can he play in it? But in England, I think it's pretty appropriate. It usually gets quite chilly.
Grand Slam history for Andre. A couple of ways to look at this. He, number 1, demonstrates his enormous talent because he's won Grand Slams at 3 of the 4 venues. On the other hand, 10 years ago, if you had said Andre Agassi was only going to have 3 Grand Slam championships by 1998, you might have said, well, that's a little disappointing.
That's true, and the same thing with Jimmy Connors. He won Wimbledon in '74, and I thought he was going to win, you know, like 5 or 6 Wimbledons, and he was lucky to win 1 more. And yet he's one of the all-time great players.
It's been very difficult in recent years for anybody to win all 4 of the slams because of the difference in surfaces. If you were picking somebody who's won the other 3 and ought to have a chance to win the French, this is the guy.
And there you see Agassi giving his towel to the bar girl. A lot of players like that towel right near them so they can use the towel between points.
For the record, Billie Jean, I love those long sleeve shirts.
Well,
if I were playing Wimbledon, that's what I would wear.
Why?
I like long sleeves.
Me too. But I try to stay out of the sun. Well, Tommy Haas, big kid from Germany, but watch him.
Love 15.
Just really release on this backhand. Very flat, very powerful. A lot of people think that Haas is one of those kids that could do really well. He's 20 years old. Since he's been about 12 years old, he's been at Bollettieri's.
Been at Bollettieri's Academy in Florida.
The Academy in Florida, right. So he's been very much Americanized. He's really a nice person. Oh, it looked just out. That was a praise shot.
15-30.
Looks like it got a little bit of a bad bounce. You see him jumping up a little there and hoping. Didn't brush up behind the ball enough. When you brush, the more you brush up behind the ball, the shorter the ball goes.
So a chance for Haas now to break right back. Agassi started the match with a service break. And now Haas has a chance to break back. Maybe it's not so unusual. They're both more service return players than they are serve and volley players.
Exactly. They're big off that return.
Haas, one of the young guard expected perhaps in future years to challenge stars like Sampras and Agassi.
Should have been in. Didn't matter. I think we're in for a dogfight here, Jim. Getting breezy out there. You can see Andre's
1 game over.
Shirt. Really having to run back. Watch, he's going to try to get between the legs. Doesn't work this time. He smashes it right into the ground. Not what he wants. Haas did a good job on that. Get him away from the net.
Couldn't have asked for a better signature beginning to this match. Agassi breaks Haas. Haas breaks Agassi.
Haas is ranked number 44.
He's had some huge wins. Beat Kafelnikov last year at Lyon. Won both 1998 Davis Cup singles matches in the first round for Germany. Beat Wayne Ferreira and Grant Stafford of South Africa. beating Stafford in the rubber match, so he's shown an ability to handle pressure.
You can tell he welcomes competition, at least so far this match. That's what it looks like to me. He knows this is a great opportunity for him to be out on a show court, center court, and playing against Agassi.
Double fault.
I think Haas changed his mind a little bit there.
Yeah, you could see him thinking.
He wasn't, yes, he was thinking too much.
Now, do I start to the net now before I make the stroke, or do I make the stroke and then start to the net?
Well,
which foot goes in front of the other one? Difference in surface. Always tough on young players who've been...
Oh, that ball's going to come back fast against Agassi. We've talked about that.
15-40.
Watch Lisa Raymond not get ready fast enough against Hingis. Once you serve, you know that ball's going to be coming back very quickly. And always expect the ball to come back. Every single point. Whereas Haas can hit ground strokes off both sides.
Mentioned some of the big name players he's beaten. You can add the names of Carlos Moya, Sergi Bruguera, Mark Philippoussis, all those wins here in 1998. He's a proven commodity already.
Yes.
Well, I've been hearing about Tommy Haas probably for the last 5 or 6 years. So he's one of the young ones to look for.
Well, if you're at Balotelli's Academy and you're hot, your name is going to get around.
It does, pretty quickly. Now the positioning of these two is quite different. Haas is about 2 or 3 feet behind the baseline. Andre standing on the baseline, at least that point, and a few other ones. And that's something that I would continue to look for as this match progresses, is their positioning. Usually the person who can stand in closer usually wins, as long as they can handle the speed of the ball.
Game Agassi.
Ooh.
Still, nobody has held serve.
Agassi leads.
Haas has been broken twice. He broke Agassi once. Andre will serve in a moment. There's been a discussion in the sport about the possibility of playing lets as opposed to allowing for another serve after a let. Andre Agassi was asked about that a couple days ago, and he has completely the opposite take.
My opinion has always been very straightforward on that. I believe that a big step forward in the game would be let serves being faults, not play them. I mean, if you play them, I think you're just throwing in a whole other element of just, you know, a lot of people who watch tennis think it's a reaction, bang the ball as hard as you can and hope you hit it in sport. And then if you just play lets, it just seems so random, almost somewhat lucky. And I don't think that's the case. I mean, we're professionals out there. We have the ball in our hand. If we toss it and touch the net, that's a fault. And we shouldn't do it. It's not like, you know, during the point is different. Your shot impacts my shot. But if I'm tossing the ball up, like in volleyball, if I hit the serve and it touches the net, I think it should be a fault. I think that would also help the, you know, even out a little bit of the big serves. You know, a lot of times on crucial points, you'll see a let, sometimes a couple of them in a row. You know, I don't think they should ever play it. I think that's ludicrous. I think it's really, really just would be a horrific change in the game.
And the fascinating thing about this, Billie Jean, is that you have been an advocate of playing the lets. They do it in team tennis, which is your baby to a large degree, and yet you're impressed with what Andre says.
I think it's always good to have opinions, and I can understand his logic. Cat and mouse point. Oh, yes!
Point. Maybe the point of the championship so far, if you like great gets and acrobatic play.
15 love.
Fun, fun, fun on that one. That's great to watch.
I think for a moment Haas relaxed and underestimated Agassi's ability to get to the ball.
That's incredible to ever do that. The only argument I have with Andre is if it's a let, a lot of times that's when there's an argument. Someone will think it's a let, somebody else will not think it's a let. And that's going to be a problem. Whereas when you play the lets on the serve, you just, if the ball's inside the service box, you play everything.
30-15.
Then the only argument's going to be whether it was in or out.
Well, it's an interesting idea. Of course, there are lets and there are lets. There are the ones that barely flick the top of the net and go on by.
Haas has got a terrific backhand down the line. He's hit a few of those already this match.
Then there are the lets that hang on the net cord, jump up into the air and kind of flop like dead fish into the service court.
That's true. Some hit the top of the net and bounce up and help the returner. So it's anything can happen, but I like the element of surprise. I think it's good for the fans. It creates more drama. Tennis needs it.
40-30.
We need to be innovative on the cutting edge, and I feel like we're always way behind other sports. Look what the three-pointer did for the NBA.
More to come. The International Tennis Federation reported to be voting on the subject of whether to play lets as soon as July 1. They make the rules for the Grand Slams.
Fed Cup, Davis Cup, and the Olympics as well.
Game Agassi.
Agassi becomes the first in the match to hold serve. And goes up 3-1 in the first set against young German star Tommy Haas, who has lived in the United States for several years under the tutelage of Nick Bollettieri. Fascinating confrontation here, given that Agassi was once Bollettieri's prized pupil and had a near surrogate father-son relationship with him. And now Tommy Haas has enjoyed exactly that kind of relationship with Bollettieri for the past few years.
That was serious MPH on that one, miles per hour. And with that kind of angle, Agassi absolutely had no play on it.
Third chance for Haas to try to hold serve. He's been broken in each of his first two service games.
That's why there's so much pressure on the server against Agassi. I mean, that wasn't a horrible serve.
Feeding Agassi velocity is like giving Mark McGuire a fastball.
That was
He's going to turn it around.
Right, it was right in his power zone, just like that one. That's right in Andre's power zone. They didn't have enough angle on it like the previous one to the deuce court had.
You're almost better off taking a little bit off it and focusing on the placement.
You can see where there's little...
So many people slipping this year. John Lloyd suggests he thinks the grass is slipperier than ever before. Could it be that Haas gets broken a third time? Yes. Well, he's not going to be able to beat Andre if he simply can't hold serve at all.
Agassi leads 4-1.
We go back to center court, where Andre Agassi has jumped off to a 4-1 lead and gets ready to serve to make it 5-1 on center court. Did I say court number 1? Don't let me confuse anybody. It's center court.
Well, it is confusing. Let's see that royal box. Center court. There's a royal box. Of course, you see Haas loving this backhand. These two can really hit off the ground. Right now, Agassi can just do it a little bit better than Haas, but very similar. sneaking up there at the last moment, so Andre
Love 30.
couldn't redirect the ball. Huge play from Haas. Very intelligent.
Ball girl. Ball girl.
A lot of players
in the
just
middle.
never
Wait, please.
feel that. They just hit the ball. Go right in. Here you see Haas again. A little bit too big a backswing on that, on this grass
15,
court.
50.
If you're going to have a huge backswing, you've got to get that racket through so fast to contact the ball in front of your body. It's like in every sport. You never want the ball to get behind you.
Pete Sampras first came here to Wimbledon. He lost matches in the first round because he had long backswings on both sides.
He's still having trouble on his backhand a little bit. He has to work on that all the time. Oh, Agassi's a really wonderful volleyer, and I'd love to see him up to that more often. He's got terrific touch. He gets up to the ball well. Watch how he gets his face to the racket. To the ball, to the ball, to the ball. No backswing on that, and just bevels the face of the racket a little bit to just drop it over the net. Stayed over his feet very well. Sometimes people say, well, what do you mean by over their feet? And when you see somebody over their feet, it means that they look like they're balanced. Their body is in control.
Game Agassi.
Andre Agassi steamrolling Tommy Haas on center court.
Agassi
Haas's
leads 5
talents
games to 1.
apparent, but Andre's playing at a high level.
Oh, Andre's impeccable today on his shots. Andre's giving me the sense that he thinks he can win this tournament. His body language just keeps telling me, like, I'm in this.
Well, for a guy who avoided the tournament during one stretch of his career because he didn't think he would be a successful grass court player, he now acknowledges that he loves it
15
here.
love.
Well, he won in '92. It's like, did I win this? So you can just tell, like, yes. Then but he started to appreciate the tradition and really what it meant once he got here and started walking around the grounds.
30
Just
love.
get a sense of the ambiance and the rich history.
He relented from his original hard stance against playing here when he arrived in '91, got a taste of it, came back in '92 and won the
40
tournament,
love.
beating the ultimate serve and volleyer, Goran Ivanisevic, in the final. Well, at least server, not necessarily serve and volleyer,
He's
because
got a terrible
Ivanisevic's loose volleys cost him the final against Agassi.
Especially off the forehand side. I mean, I hold my breath every time he hits the forehand volley.
48-15.
Haas is rushing. You got to really take your time.
Game Haas. New balls, please.
Haas gets a second game. Agassi still 1 game away from taking the
Agassi
first
leads
set.
5 games to 2.
You know, at the beginning of the day today, Billie Jean, you could have made a bet on Andre Agassi at one of the local bookmaking parlors and gotten odds of 16 to 1.
Not anymore.
I don't think so. Those odds are dropping with each passing game in this match.
I bet he's about 8 to 1 or even
By tomorrow morning?
At least. Oh, at least.
6 to 1. Just guessing.
Total guess.
There will be some Agassi money pouring in off of this performance.
Well,
Of
Tommy
course, it's
Haas,
only one
yeah.
set.
Tommy
Haas
Haas
could turn things around.
Well, I'm sorry to keep interrupting you.
Go ahead.
Now, Haas was 4 years old when he started tennis. Dad coached him. So tennis is in this kid's blood. It looks like he really enjoys it, which is good.
Dramatic turnaround this year for Andre Agassi. Started 1997, ranked number 8. Remember, he was number 1 as recently as 1995. Finished last year at 122, failing to win a title for the first time in 11 years. This year, different story. 30 wins, 8 losses in matches. 2 tournaments won. Ranking all the way back to number 19. Top 10, probably not too far away.
We'll see right after this tournament. There you see Brad Gilbert. He's usually always talking. Oh, he's quiet there.
Late out call,
Haas didn't think it was out,
to say the least.
but he caught the ball, so he loses the point anyway.
15 love.
Of course, he only caught the ball after he heard the out call.
Knew he wasn't going to get the call reversed.
It's too bad Haas can't change up a little bit off the ground. He's trying to hit with Agassi too much. See, everything he hits is just very similar to Agassi. And once in a while he needs a slice, chip and charge, do something different.
One of the oldest rules in confrontational sports. Don't jab with a jabber, don't hook with a hooker, don't box with a boxer. Right now, Tommy Haas has been boxing with a boxer and getting outboxed.
Well, this is the way that most of the young players play today. Just very powerful off both sides. Try to have a, pretty good serve, at least a big first serve. Don't worry too much about the transition game, getting from the baseline to the net.
15-40.
And what happens?
Double breakpoint opportunity for Haas. Go ahead, Billie Jean.
But if you're playing against somebody that plays exactly like you've got to be able to be better than they are at the same thing. And so far today, Agassi's out-punching Haas.
But here the chance for Tommy to get to 3-5. Then if he could hold serve, which has been more difficult for him than playing off of Andre's serve.
Short serve.
Game Haas.
Second time in the set that Haas has broken Andre. Problem, he's only held his own serve once.
3.
Well, we'll see how it goes from here, because this is an important moment for both players to see who can win this first set, get it under their belt and behind them.
Agassi's command of the first set slipping just a tiny bit. Goes back to his preferred role, returning serve, and gets well.
Terrible.
Love 15.
He just had Haas on a string in this point, and this is the one that finished Haas. Haas could not get to this. Look how close Andre hit to the line.
Love 30.
Boy. Haas is not picking it up again. We talk about this time and time again. When you're playing against a top player, and if you break them, they're probably going to play better the next game.
15-30.
Ooh, I guess you didn't think that ball was in. I'd like to return that. No, thank you. There we go.
30.
Chair umpire for this match is the veteran John Frame. We haven't seen a shot of him yet.
He hasn't been in the frame yet?
They'll frame the shot for us.
Thank you.
I knew that was coming.
I'm sorry, couldn't resist.
$14-30.
Haas is doing a good job. High percentage of first serves in.
Starting to work on the placement a little bit instead of hitting it right at Andre.
Exactly. Making Andre guess a little.
Game Haas.
Service hold for Haas. His confidence soaring for the moment. Gets to within 4-5.
He leads 5-4.
Not too many minutes ago, Andre Agassi was cruising at 5-1. Now Haas reels off 3 straight games. Suddenly life is different.
Andre's drying off his hat. Perspiration. It's so funny to see the players wear their hats this way. In my day and age, if we wore our hats this way, we'd have no chance. We would be teased so much.
Speaking of Nick Bollettieri, and we talked so much about
Yes.
Bollettieri's influence on both of these players, did you see any of Jennifer Capriati earlier today?
I did see some. She's hitting the ball very nicely. Nice to see her back on the courts. Looks like she's enjoying it.
She did appear to have fun.
Yes. She also has a different perspective on the game, like Groff, Selitz. A little older, more mature.
Yeah, in case you're wondering, she's 21.
That's incredible. She's only 21 still?
She's 21.
Oh.
This isn't the first time that Andre Agassi has served for this set.
Angle wasn't sharp enough. Watch this. Watch where this ball bounces. Behind the service line. That's not what Andre wanted. I think Andre wanted that little sharp cross court. Oh.
Crowd likes the behind the back try.
Well, I don't think Andre meant the volley to go there. That actually was not a pretty poor volley. You know, one thing you don't want to do is hit your volley that lands about service around the service line and bounces high. It's just that Tommy was running and ran right into the ball.
(30-15).
Andre taking his time.
40-15.
Double set point.
Game. First set, Agassi, 6 games to 4.
The first set goes to Andre Agassi. 6 games to 4. Could have been a little bit of trouble there. He got out of it. See
Second
what happens
set,
here.
Haas to serve.
Haas to start in the second serve. Andre very relieved to get that first set behind him. Tommy Haas can play.
15 love.
Well, Tommy Haas needs to take advantage of any mid-court shot. He needs to go forward on that. Keep Andre on the defense. Oh, finally, improvisation from Tommy Haas. I wondered when he was going to try something different. Inside the baseline, it's appropriate to hit the drop shot. Andre, a little surprise there. Didn't get off right away on that one because he didn't read it. 40 left for Haas. Ooh, left cord.
48-15.
You see this left cord where it just dribbles over the net in favor of Andre Agassi. See, on grass, that ball will not bounce up at all. It bounces about 2 or 3 inches off the ground.
Game Haas. First game, second set. First set,
First game to Haas. Andre Agassi won the first set 6 games to 4. Of course, in tennis,
We take you back live to center court. Still on serve, 30-15 Agassi. 1 love Haas in the second set. Agassi took the first 6-4.
30.
I think the young players out there should really notice how Agassi just keeps going for his shots, keeps hitting through the ball, and doesn't try to get careful. So many young juniors just think they should just barely dink the ball back because they can win a lot of junior matches that way. Just go and just try to be steady. But to be a great player in today's game, you've got to be aggressive, whether it's off the ground or coming to net. Haas disgusted with himself for making that unforced error.
Deuce.
There's Haas trying to break up the rhythm of Agassi a little, threw in a slice. One of his ground strokes was hit very powerfully off the backhand. The other one was medium hard. So those are 3 shots that were all different within that rally. And Agassi ended up missing the shot. Did a great job to get the angle on that one.
Advantage Haas.
Watch how he gets on the outside of the ball, slices. Oh, look at that to get the angle. That was terrific racket control from Haas. Watch from this angle. Watch how he gets the ball just on the outside of the ball and flicks it over.
Deuce.
Good job from Andre. Take the offense away from Haas immediately by going to net.
Second game, second set.
Advantage Agassi.
Good body serve.
Chance here for Agassi to stay level on serve. Get to 1 apiece in the second.
Deuce.
A little anxious. Andre, you see him talking to himself? He actually
hates it when he mishits a forehand.
I know, but deuce number 3. Haas is pushing Agassi this game. He's feeling it. A little more twitchy, Andre, right now.
Haas's forehand down the line. Sets up a break point.
Well, it hits
Advantage
right
Haas.
on the line, Jim. Of course, not only does Haas like this, there's another German, Graf, who loves that forehand. Remember, it's the shortest distance.
Chance for Haas to go up 2-love in the second.
Game Haas.
Andre with 2 critical forehand errors in that game.
Haas
Covered the
leads
ball a
2
little
games
bit.
to love.
The racket face is a little bit above the ball in the backswing, and his racket was a little bit closed at contact point. You have to remember on grass, the ball bounces extremely low. It's unpredictable. You have to make sure you get your racket below the ball on your backswing, so you can brush up low to high on the follow-through.
So big opportunity here for Haas if you can solidify this advantage now by holding here.
Let.
Had a lot of trouble in the first set holding serve. Agassi broke him 4 times.
15 love.
Andre definitely a little more anxious. See how he's walking faster? You can tell. Needs to stay calm.
$30
Andre's just going through a bad patch right now. It happens. And what you do is you keep starting all over on each ball. Play each ball. The only one that matters is the ball coming to you.
40 love.
Just have to let that go. It's just too good.
Tommy Haas gaining confidence with each passing point here.
Tommy Haas is doing a terrific job, too, of changing the direction of the ball. I guess he figured he's up 40 love. Why not?
Not a great idea.
And what I said by changing the direction of the ball, I meant on his serve.
It's almost as if the first set was rushing by a little too fast for him. And now he's gotten his feet settled and is beginning to think from point to point.
Let's keep track. How many times he goes to the backhand, how many times he goes to the body, how many times he go wide. The body. That's a good serve. Especially on grass, that ball really curves into your body. You can't get your body out of the way.
So Tommy Haas reels off 3 straight games to start the second set. After Agassi took the first, 6-4. There on center court. We're rapidly approaching our off-air time here. And we give you an overall analysis of this match so far. Rest assured, we're not going anywhere for the time being. We'll keep you here to see what happens between Andre Agassi and Tommy Haas. Billie Jean?
Well, you see the first serve percentage. Haas is doing a much better job. Winners almost identical. Unforced errors, Agassi's making more than Haas. And of course, serve games lost, they're even. But we have a very, very close match here. That's what these stats say, and they're right.
Haas with almost as many winners as Agassi.
Do you know what I feel like? I feel like Agassi would love to run over to a cement court right now and hit a few balls, renew his confidence and his timing, and then come back on the grass. Because he doesn't like to practice that much on the grass anyway, and sometimes it's very difficult. You can go off the boil, as John Lloyd was saying, and we say in England, and you cannot gain any kind of rhythm sometimes on grass because it's so difficult. If your opponent knows that and keep you off balance, it seems like you never regain any rhythm.
15 love.
John Lloyd has so many colorful expressions. But when I leave Wimbledon every year, I go home and for 3 weeks I'm John Lloyd.
Right.
I talk the way he does. It's irresistible.
Oh, he's wonderful. It definitely adds flavor to life. Ooh.
30 love.
Andre's doing a good job here. Trying to regroup. Rushing.
50.
He could have taken his time on that.
Hi. 40-15. Game Agassi.
So Andre gets off the schneid in the second set, but Tommy Haas still with a service break advantage, up 3-1.
Well, you get to see Andre serve here. Good extension. Kind of in the power zone there for Haas. But Andre, look at that Andre with his racket control.
Now Haas, after having had the devil of a time holding serve in the first set, has held twice to start this second set.
Well, Andre Agassi needs to reestablish himself right here.
Haas needs to keep thinking about careful placements on these serves to get Andre off balance again.
He needs to get a high percentage of first serves in as well. Whoa,
that was a good one.
Whoa, what a terrific second serve. Just inside the line. Boy, this kid's got guts. I love it. Went for it.
Nothing to lose. You're Tommy Haas playing Andre Agassi on center court. Go for the lines.
It's not that easy. Andre did a good job of just getting this back and play to make Haas have to hit one more ball. Haas took his time, Didn't try to hit it too good, too close to the line. Excellent job.
Game, Haas.
Another terrific second serve to Agassi's backhand, and Haas holds once again.
Haas leads 4 games
Two of
to
the
1.
better second serves we've seen in the tournament so far, and goes ahead 3-2 in the 5th set. So still the possible upset is brewing over on court number 2 as we come back to center court and Andre Agassi.
Love 15.
It is 8 o'clock London time. We're going to stay with this match for as long as they are playing tonight.
Ooh. Boy, players are
Love
slipping
30.
all over the place today.
If this one goes more than 3 sets, it's almost impossible to imagine that they finish before darkness falls.
Let's take a look at Tommy Haas, where he slipped. Ooh, left foot. Same as Nagiova earlier today. She was playing girls.
15-30.
I hated it when a player stopped the ball like that, even though it was clearly out.
Plenty of playing time left right now. But as I said, almost impossible to imagine that they could finish the match unless it's a quick 3-setter. And right now, Haas is in position to win the second set if he can hold this advantage. If the time comes, Billie Jean, who makes the tough decision as to when to suspend the match? Chair umpire John Frame?
No.
Or tournament referee Alan Mills?
Tournament referee. The umpire is just the messenger. It's like, don't kill the messenger. Agassi's rushing,
30-40.
and when you get nervous, a little shaky, you tend to go faster and faster, even though you're unaware of it. So it's very important to repeat your rituals if you're not sure, and to really make sure you're breathing and slow down.
Break point, chance for Tommy Haas to go 5-1 up on Agassi in the second.
Game, Haas. New balls, please.
Andre in disbelief.
Andre on
leads
the
5 games
down
to
roller
1.
coaster right now. Looked so commanding in the first set, playing well.
You saw Brad Gilbert putting his hands down like, calm down, it's okay, it's all right, just calm down. Gilbert was, he used to play ugly, he'd say, but he played so well within himself. Brad Gilbert truly understands the game, and he and Andre non-stop talking about the sport.
Oh, what a magnificent
15
relationship it's been. I mean,
It's
there were a
very
lot of people who thought this would be one of the oddest couples in the sport and that it couldn't work because in some ways they were too much alike. But it's been fantastic for Andre when he cares most about tennis.
15-0.
And usually he's very loyal with the people around him. That's why I've never really understood what happened with Bollettieri, because Andre's very loyal. A lot of people tried to told Andre, you don't need Brad, get somebody else.
30-15.
Says no, he's my guy. Everybody around me. Perry Rogers, his manager, everybody's.
Perry Rogers, a childhood friend who's been with him a long time.
Yeah, but he's just very loyal to everybody. He doesn't.
His brother Philip, always a part of the picture.
Yes.
(40-15).
Definitely needs a cement court right now. Go out and hit a few. Give him 2 minutes, he'll be back. He's not going to get it though.
Double set point for Tommy Haas. Haas has been magical with some of his second serves, particularly in the other court.
40-30.
Well, Haas has got to be careful here. You don't get too many opportunities against players of Agassi's caliber.
Game, second set half, 6 games to 1. 1-0.
There'll be no wipeout on center court. Tommy Haas drops the first set to Andre Agassi 6-4. and then rapidly turns the tables to take the second.
And we're going to continue our coverage of this match. This is bonus coverage. We'll be with it as long as they play on center court. And as you can see, they've got a pretty good allotment of light right now, so they won't be stopping anytime within the next few minutes.
Thank you.
So both players would love to finish the match tonight. But in order for that to happen, somebody's probably going to have to make short work of the other in the next 2 sets.
I was surprised that this was the last match on this court today. But they got a little bit behind because of the rain.
Correction, the ball is good. Replay the point.
Chair umpire John Frame with the overrule. And they'll replay the point. Haas serving 15-love. He's got an excellent forehand, Bellucci.
He does. He's big off that side.
30-love.
I think Agassi was surprised that he got to this one. It did so much damage with it. Get ready.
40-love.
Gets anxious, Andre, and pulls the trigger too early. It's pretty hard to do on grass.
Let first service.
A remarkable stab at the ball. People say he's lucky, but whew, just get the racket on the ball was incredible.
.30.
Got to make sure the ball gets on your side of the net. If you should reach over and hit it in the air
Agassi leads
when it's on your opponent's side, you will lose the point.
I can't believe Marcelo Rios lost to Francisco Clavet in the first round at Wimbledon. Seeded number 2.
Oh, I can.
Oh, no, we've seen it happen in the past.
It's not surprising at all.
.15-love.
Well, you can just see the pure power of Haas's forehand. And one thing, watch on the backswing how he drops his wrist right there. That's what Bollettieri teaches on the backswing. As you come back, make sure you drop your wrist so you're under the ball. I think Haas is making a big mistake by hitting those backhand cross-court flat like that. I think he should change it up. He was successful when he would slice a few and then hit it. If you just keep hitting cross-court backhands with Andre Agassi, most of the time you're going to lose the rally. Like that's better. See? Threw his timing off.
30.
Even though it wasn't deep, it was in the middle of the court. Looked like a weak return. Smart play. And Andre's not happy.
48-30.
Haas didn't get to that ball. You got to get your body to the ball. You can hear him screaming there. I don't know what he said, but it's a good thing we didn't hear him. I have a feeling by...
Well, you have to assume that he can be the sailor in at least 2 languages.
You could see with the way he had the tension in his back when he yelled it, that he was feeling the emotion of missing the ball. Don't just keep hitting. It's off the forehand, it's okay, because that's his shot, but not off the backhand. Well, this is a dangerous shot. When Haas gets his body to the ball, like on that last one, he's over his feet. He gets a flick of the wrist. Of course, remember, both of them are hitting the ball so hard, if you can time the ball right, you can use all the energy of your opponent.
Never know. Haas staying in the point with 2 defensive lobs.
But he guessed right where Andre was going to hit the ball.
Thank you. Thank you.
Crowds into this. It's good to hear them get a little rowdy. I love it.
Well, the English love Andre Agassi.
Well, they're going to love this Tommy Haas.
Aren't they?
He's fun. Oh, he's rushing.
Agassi leads 3 games to 2. Third set,
so
1-2.
Haas gets to within 2-3 after Andre jumped to the 3-love lead in this set. And Andre Agassi angry with himself for having allowed Tommy Haas to gain the upper hand in terms of the pace and rhythm of play here.
It's true, but he's breathing pretty heavily here, trying to get his pulse rate back down, hopefully his temper in place as well, and try to refocus. You can always look in Andre's huge, beautiful brown eyes, and you just know what he's thinking. Sometimes he gets that scared look, like when a deer is looking in, you know, the headlights.
Those huge, beautiful brown eyes which see and anticipate the ball, take it earlier, take it on the rise more than any other player.
Oh, it's just wonderful to watch. So much like Jimmy Connors, another great player on returning serve.
Jimmy being inducted into the Tennis Hall of Fame this year.
He deserves it.
Time.
Jimmy helped grow the game and add fire and energy and controversy.
He was the predecessor to Andre Agassi.
I mean, what a performer. Just, the people were with him on every stroke of the ball. Well, here's Andre. Tommy Haas serving.
love.
Haas getting very comfortable out there.
Very comfortable and hitting his forehand harder than Andre Agassi.
I started to say.
It's incredible.
Here's the standard by which you're going to be measured when you're hitting hard forehands.
40 love.
Well, what happens when younger people, when they're growing up, watch someone like Andre Agassi? Each younger generation is able to be more powerful and better.
Game Haas.
Oh, it's just in.
3 games over.
I thought Andre did the right thing by trying to go in. There's Alan Mills, the referee, the blue jacket. We do have an overcast, so the lighting's not going to be as good as it could be. Usually it stays light until at least 9:30.
Don't be afraid of the dark, Alan.
But it's 8:30, as they'd say. You see that overcast doesn't allow quite as much light through.
Longest day of the year was 3 days ago. Tommy Haas has come back to knot it up with Andre Agassi at 3-3 in the second.
Love 15.
Tommy Haas is suddenly hitting winners all over the place.
And you can see by Haas's body language, and here you see Andre looking very worried. On the other hand, Haas, you see here, eager beaver over here. I want the ball. Andre's still rushing on a serve, falling off to the left. He needs to keep his body up and out to the right more. He needs to absolutely be more deliberate here, believe in his shots, be totally committed, and one ball at a time. Hit the top of the net, it went over.
15-30.
Haas pointed in the other direction.
Andre needs a break here. I don't mean like have his service broken, but needs a break. He needs some little luck here. It's a great serve. Good.
We have to assume that Mills's objective will be to try to get them completed through this set.
Yes.
And then to suspend play at the end of the set.
That's exactly what he's thinking. It would be great if they get through, then he'll reassess.
And even if Agassi were to win the set, it's probably still not all that bad for him that play be suspended.
Well, I think it would be great because he can go back to the hotel or the house wherever he's staying, and Brad can talk to him, get calm, and start over.
Get him back into the frame of mind he had at the beginning of the match when he was playing great tennis.
Tommy Haas is really pushing him. Tommy Haas wants this. Ugh, I love it when I see players, they're this eager.
Break point for Haas, chance to go up 4-3. Haas has hit some magnificent lobs, Billie Jean.
Haas should have been in. Haas should have been in. Called out.
Called out. Didn't look out.
Let's take another look.
John Frame, the chair umpire.
But late, way late.
Oh.
What
do you think?
2 seconds late, the ball was already on my side.
No, she was late. Couldn't argue about the problem.
But the ball, the chuck came up. It was right on the line. It's great point, man.
I agree with Haas. I thought it was good.
Look that way on the replay.
And this is such a crucial moment in the match. Yes, inside the line.
Absolutely. No overrule on the call. So a bad break there for Tommy Haas. You said Andre Agassi needed a good break. He got the let cord that fell in, and now he gets a bad call in his favor. It was a huge call because it became deuce instead of 4-3 Haas.
It's always interesting with the younger players. They always think hard, harder, and hardest. And Haas just smacking that backhand again, and every time he gets into that rut, he usually does not win the point. That's a great
So it becomes a game that Agassi wins, and Tommy Haas thought he had it.
If looks could kill,
absolutely,
that umpire would be out of here.
John Frame would not be feeling well based on the glance that he got from Haas. Now the challenge to Haas is to maintain his composure in the wake of that bad piece of luck.
Exactly. Both of these players have had trying times today in this match.
Probably was even right before the shot, but never did. In 1,000 years. Never. Yeah, but it was maybe right before, but it was too fast for you. For her too. You exchanged her too. There was another lady before that. Oh, she's supposed to see, by the way.
time.
So,
Oh, you heard it.
Billie Jean King correctly observes that Andre Agassi needs a lucky break. Agassi gets a small lucky break on the let cord that falls in, and then gets a huge lucky break on the bad line call, which in effect prevents Tommy Haas from going ahead 4-3. Instead, it's Agassi 4-3, and Haas faces the challenge of maintaining his composure and trying to hold his own serve.
15 months.
If he's able to regain his composure and win this game, for a 20-year-old, I think it'll show a lot.
Yes, because at the end of this match, if Haas should lose it, that's going to be the turning point. I think actually it was good that Haas screamed at the umpire. It's better to get it out before you get back up and go back to serve, as long as you can regroup just in time.
And he had a case.
30-15.
Good serve. That's what he has to keep doing. High percentage of first serves. Change it up on Andre with speed and direction. Let's see if he hits that big topspin serve deep into the backhand that was so successful earlier in the match. That's it. The two slice backhand.
Clutch forehand by Haas.
No, the two slice backhands. Usually when he hits his backhand is when he gets in trouble. With Andre's smart play, hit the two slices and then get that forehand that he loves so much to hit up the line. Well, there's maturity for a 20-year-old.
Brilliant.
New ball scores.
Haas holds and gets to 4-4. Now he'll go back to the problem of trying to attack Agassi's serve, and he's been on it in this set.
Now this is where it's absolutely vital that Haas don't go back in the future and think about that break point where he got a bad call. He's got to let it go and really stay with this point, this ball right here.
Remember, he's won 4 of the last 5 games, and had it not been for the bad call, it would have been 5 in a row.
He's checking up there in the competitor's box. You know, most of the coaches do send down signals. New balls, when the balls are new, especially this time of night, they're much lighter, but you can also see them slightly better because they don't have grass stains on them, which makes the balls get more and more green as they're used. The balls look very yellow now. Ah, gets the ball back with a chip. Good serve from Andre. Great shot from Andre.
And back to playing at what seems a more comfortable pace for him.
Yes.
Not rushing now.
Yes, he needs. It's very important, and for all of us, the rhythm of your rituals.
40 love.
It's a pretty fine line for Andre. He likes to play fast. Doesn't want to rush.
He has slowed down much better. Well, Brad Gilbert's been trying to tell him to slow down. Oh. What happened?
14-15.
Didn't get the racket down to the ball. So for the first time since early in this second set, or third set, I should say, an easy service game for Agassi.
Third set, 1-0.
Seesaw match on center court. Agassi took the first set 6-4. He had been up 5-1, allowed Haas to come back to 4-5, then closed it out. Haas stormed through Agassi in the second set 6-1. Agassi jumped on top in the third set 3-love. Haas won 4 of the next 5 games. Agassi now goes back in front 5-4.
Boy, this has been quite a match.
A lot of emotional challenges to both players.
Yes. What a way to end the day here.
Overall analysis of the match so far, Billie Jean.
First percentage, not very important. The winners very close, unforced errors. Slightly more for Andre. He did have a bad patch there for a while. Service games lost. Haas is 1 ahead of Agassi. And yes, we have a very, very close, tight, emotional match on our hands here. Just the kind we love to see here at Wimbledon.
Well, if you've tuned into HBO looking for other programming, yes, our normal off time is 8 o'clock Eastern Time, or check it 2 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 o'clock Eastern Time. My math is bad this late in the day. 3 o'clock Eastern Time, noon Pacific. But when we have significant tennis, we stay here live to bring it to you. And so we are well beyond our off time, and we're going to stick here at center court at Wimbledon with Tommy Haas and Andre Agassi until play is suspended.
If you are the people that just like to watch movies, watch this guy right here. He's the best performer we've got in the game, the biggest ticket seller. He's marquee in our sport of tennis. Andre Agassi.
Playing against a young man who may someday show some glamour in his own game and persona. Certainly he's got game.
We got net. Ooh, Andre focused totally.
Spike might be watching. He's a fan of all sports, not just NBA basketball.
I think he's an awesome guy.
He's a terrific guy.
He is. This hit, which allowed Tommy Haas all day long to get ready for that forehand and smack it.
Look at the confidence with which Tommy Haas is playing.
But these young players don't respect the older ones anyway. It's like, who are you? In a way, it helps. But also, I've always found that the young players who admire certain players always do better against them as well. Borg versus Laver, for instance, when he was growing up. Oh, smart tennis hitting behind Andre Agassi.
Brilliant. Gets Haas to 5-5. Had it not been for the line call, which was incorrect, which Haas challenged unsuccessfully, he would have taken the set now 6-4. This would have put Tommy Haas up 5-4 or 4-3.
Thank you.
It was inside the line. That is just...
The replay clearly shows it was in. It was called out. Agassi went on to win that game. Had that point been correctly ruled, then Tommy Haas would have taken this third set and would be ahead 2-1 right now.
That is brutal.
Which isn't to say that he isn't going to win the set anyway.
Well, that's what's admirable. He's still in it. Didn't let it get to him. It could have been so easy to fall apart there. Good, Andre. Ready to get in.
15-0.
Andre's a good volley. I don't know why he doesn't go to net more. He is just, I guess if you have those greater ground strokes, you don't need to.
The man who goes to bed with a 2-1 lead tonight has a big advantage coming out tomorrow.
The 1-2 punch from Andre Agassi. Terrific serve.
30-15.
Tommy Haas not happy with himself. He knows this is critical. This is a huge point right here. This is just totally critical for both players.
Commanding again, as he was through much of the first set.
But he seized the moment, and he did the right thing. Saw that short ball, knew he had to go forward. It's not so easy to do. There's that much pressure, and you're basically a ground stroker.
Andre making more net advances than Haas and making them pay off for him.
Game Agassi.
Agassi takes a 6-5 advantage. Now Haas will serve to try to force the tiebreak. What a nerve-wracking tiebreak that'll be, if in fact Tommy's able to get there.
I didn't understand that last return. I guess he was trying an element of surprise and also make Andre use some energy. But you know, pretty much you're not going to be playing much longer tonight, though. It's so interesting to see the players drinking water, because in the old days, you know, people like Don Budge always told, oh, if I had a drink of water, I knew my opponent would think I'm finished. In the old days, the old players are taught not to drink. You can see both players drinking many fluids.
Well, at the risk of showing off my math clock deficiencies one more time, it's almost 8:45 p.m. London time. If I had to hazard a wild guess, I'd say we have at the outside maybe 20-25 more minutes of playable light on center court. Maybe not quite that much.
Probably after this set, I would think they would call it, because just so they can start clean.
That would be the logical starting point for tomorrow.
Uh-oh. Tommy Haas has tremendous amount of courage on both first and second serves. You're only as good as your second serve, is what Pancho Gonzalez told me and taught me as a young person. Well, Tommy Haas, he goes for that second serve. I think we're going to be going to a tiebreaker, the way it's looking.
I think Andre's impressed with Tommy Haas.
40 love.
I think this is going to be a hell of a tiebreaker.
It's like when Tracy Austin played Chris Evert.
Present, future.
Tommy did not read that return at all, because it came off the frame of Andre Agassi.
40-15.
When it comes off the frame, remember, the ball's very slow, the court's very dead. No bounce. Didn't read it.
2 more chances for Haas to force the tiebreak here.
Loose.
40-30.
I think Haas thought maybe that ball was out, Jim.
It's a little late.
Well, you can't assume anything.
And that makes this a huge point.
Especially after what happened to him earlier in the set, when he had a break point and got a bad call. Play everything.
Game
Haas finally converts.
6 games all.
Gets to 6-6.
Tiebreak.
Here comes the tiebreak. Just one more reminder that at 3-3 in this set, break point, Agassi serving. Tommy Haas ripped this forehand, which was called out. Replay showed it was in. Point went to Agassi. And that cost Haas a chance to win the set in conventional time. Agassi makes it work between his legs, and Haas is there with the answer.
Haas.
So the mini break to start the tie break for Tommy Haas.
Well, you see, Andre hit that between his legs, and Tommy Haas kept his wits about him to make sure he got that. It wasn't that easy a volley.
Haas is starting to crank it up on first serve.
2-0 Haas.
He's enjoying this. He likes being out here on a show court. And that's another thing you look for in a young player.
We told you, he won the rubber match in a Davis Cup tie against South Africa and showed he can handle pressure.
Haas.
for a little bit too much.
2-all.
Don't have to do it. Hit it that close to the line. It's so common to do that.
Let. First service.
Oh, I wonder what Andre thinks about calling that a fault.
Yeah, that's right. He's the one who says that let should be fault.
Fault. I don't think so. It would have been an ace if we played let.
Now it's second serve. Rips the forehand into the corner to maintain the mini break advantage.
He was much more measured the way he did that. More calmer, didn't go for the line, which was so important. And it's such a common thing to do. Because you want to get the point over with, you want to make a spectacular shot.
Oh, good choice.
Oh, hitting behind Agassi. See, he has such great intuition.
4-2 Haas.
Good choice, brave choice. You can see Andre getting ready to go to the other corner.
Yes. But he felt it. A lot of players don't see that. He sees, it's almost like you feel it. You don't actually even see it. You can sense what's going on. You have great court sense. You cannot teach that. You're born with it.
It's the Hingis thing.
Yes.
5, please. Thank you.
It's like you have this radar, this antenna built in. Oh.
5-2 Haas.
5-2 Tommy Haas. Trying to go up 2-1 on Andre Agassi on center court.
All right, Andre.
5-3 Haas.
Seen a couple of pressure situations in his tennis career, too.
No kidding. And he's come through for us in Davis Cup as well. Big time. Oh, go.
Call? Called in? Called out?
Looked out.
6-3 Haas.
Called in.
Oh, I cannot believe it.
Even up call?
Agassi's going bananas.
Even up call. Remember, a line call cost Haas the chance to win the set.
Out by miles.
Clearly out.
Oh, what a bet. Look at Haas, you can tell. Well, now we're even. You can just see it on his face.
And it'll be triple set point for Tommy Haas.
I promise you 6 inches. How did you not get a good look at that?
Chair umpire is John Frame.
It was wide and it was long.
He's correct. He said it was wide and long. Andre Agassi, he's absolutely correct. Take another look at it. Watch where it hits. It's wide as well as long. Yes, he's correct. It was out both ways, width and length.
Thank you.
Boy, these...
Third set badly flawed by 2 obviously wrong line calls.
Yes, at the two most crucial moments of the match. It looks like Andre's going to cry almost. Look. I don't blame him.
He's more than disturbed. He's crushed. Haas with 3 set points.
There's one. Back for Agassi.
Haas. Five, please.
That linesperson called that so fast, knowing how crucial this is.
Oh, that was a brave second serve.
Okay, 7 against the 6. Ladies and gentlemen, play suspended.
Play suspended immediately. Tommy Haas. goes to bed tonight with a 2-1 lead over Andre Agassi after a third set badly flawed by two obviously wrong line calls. One of them robbing Haas of a service break, which would have set him up to win the set in regulation. One of them robbing Agassi and giving Haas 3 set points, of which he converted the second.
Because the umpires overrule here.
I say, in 12 years, I've never seen one miss that point. It's not an exaggeration.
Well, you heard Agassi say, in 12 years, I've never seen one miss that badly. And whether it's true or not, certainly Andre believes that at this moment in his life.
Well, probably for him, that's probably his truth. I don't remember ever seeing it.
And as chair umpire John Frame leaves the court, he is roundly booed by the center court crowd.
And
now this was 3-3. Break point for Haas. Chance to go up 4-3. Ball clearly in. And it was ruled out.
correct. But Frame can always overrule, and he didn't. And that's why he's getting booed.
And then the second one is at 5-3 Haas in the tiebreak.
This, to me, is even worse, because this is more clearly out. It's both wide and long, as Agassi was yelling at him. Definitely wide, definitely long.
Given the location, can we be safe in assuming that the same line judge made both calls?
As far as the baseline, absolutely correct. But the sideline person, lines person, should have gotten it as well. That means two people didn't get it right.
All right, before we leave you tonight.